Pete and Heather. Pete and Heather have just returned from Spain and caught up with Adam and Julie, and they're going to do a 3-hour report and 463 photos.
I thought he said put up with Adam and Julie. They sort of had to put up with us. Hello. I'm Peter.
I'm Heather.
Oh, I'm pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Would you like to come home with me now?
We're married if you didn't realise.
We just went over to Spain to see Adam and Julie. I realised when I was thinking about this that probably a few people here don't actually know Adam and Julie. They've been a part of our church for 15 or so years, and a 10-year process took them to where they felt God was calling them, which was over to Spain to work with the people of Spain and the kids over there, which they finally went, 2 years, just gone 2 years they've been there. So, so we went over and we thought we'd have a bit of a catch up and see what they were doing and spend some time, and it was really good. They're going well. We got some photos we'll show you, except the USB probably won't run the PowerPoint. So we'll use this one. If you like this presentation, I put it together. If it's average, Heather did, which she did actually. Anyway, look, that's where they are in Gijón, which is the north of Spain. It's on the coast. It's an industrial sort of town. It's nothing too flash as far as tourism goes and stuff. The locals go up there during summer for, because there's beaches there and stuff, and it's a bit of a, summer thing. But it's quite a nice place. That's the view from their apartment. As you can see, it's pretty residential. There's so many people in Spain, it's unbelievable. The population of the Sunshine Coast is in one town. And it's that park over there. It's funny how their time frame is different to ours. There's people walking their dogs over there at midnight. We're long in bed, but the European hours and the European lifestyle, they're just like, seriously, people, go to sleep. They're up for hours. That's just the beach that's near their place. That's a boardwalk, and anyway, look, that's just looking around town. We went to their church while we were over there, which is a small church. There's about 12 people or so that go to their church. It's an evangelical type of church. The pastor there was good. Our international worship leader went over and sung a song that they completely wouldn't have understood because it was in English.
No, they knew the tune. It was actually the song that I led this morning, What a Beautiful Name. And what I said before singing was, no matter what language you speak, no matter what time zone it is, God is being lifted up. And so they knew the tune, but they didn't know the words because I actually sang it in English. I was going to sing it in Spanish, but I didn't want to wreck it. But I added Jesus in there, which is for Jesus, and some other word which I learnt right on the spot. But it was good to play with Adam. That's Adam playing the guitar there. It was nice.
The other word she learned actually translated to toilet, but they didn't know that.
Baño.
No, it didn't. That's there. We had lunch afterwards with their pastor, who's there on the right, and his wife.
Silvino is like a Spanish Rod. Seriously, it's like Rod in Spanish with a moustache. Hola.
Yeah.
No, they're great people.
Yeah, he's good. He speaks well, and he's passionate about what he does, and he's passionate about the evangelical style of preaching. His son actually translated for us while we were there, which was kind of interesting. He didn't have to, but he just come over and volunteered to. So everything his father said, his son would go, and then the apostles came to. That doesn't really translate. But it was interesting because they don't speak any English really, Sabino and Anna, his wife. But it was good having lunch with them and catching up with them and just hearing their heart and their passion for the people of Spain. One thing I found really interesting, because he was there through the Franco era, which was a long period of Spain's history, and the damage that the Catholic Church did to Christianity in Spain during that period was just, it was crazy, you know. It kind of turned the Spanish off God, yeah, and off religion. And you know, when you first think of Spain, you don't really think that they have any need for missionaries or any call, but it's a pretty dead place as far as God goes. There's a stack of churches that are all half empty. If people go there, it's just out of tradition. It's not about a relationship with God, or it's. And after talking to him, you realise that it's a really hard area to break through, because the Spanish people going way back through this whole period just have this negative outlook on church and on God. And when they think of church, they just think of the betrayal that happened years ago, you know, with Franco and the Inquisition, and, you know, they were killing people in Catholic courtyards of churches, you know, that they allowed. It was, you know, and there's this real resistance to that style of church. And the only evangelical sort of stuff in Spain comes from the South Americans that have moved there, and they don't really gel together, the two of them. So, anyway, and that girl at the back's Lindsay, she's part of their team. This is their pioneers team. We met most of them. There was a few on holidays because it was the end of their summer break. The guys here in the forefront are Andy and Liana, who are the leaders. They've been there for 11 years. You know, and they're just now starting to make an impact with the opening of the youth centre into the local community. You know, that's how long missionary work takes. You know, you think you go over there and in a year or two you're just saving lives. You've got to build community, learn the language, which is a massive one, and learn the culture, you know. And they've been there for 11 years, and they've got an English school, which helps to fund the youth centre, which you'll see in a moment, which is amazing. It only opened earlier this year. They're really nice people. They're pretty cool. They're Aussies. They're from originally New South Wales, but they speak fluent. The language is such a big thing, and Adam and Julie is probably one area for prayer where they really need it, is their language, which they say they're hopeless at. But trust me, compared to how they were when they went there, they're great. You know, they can get around town, they can communicate. They can communicate in shops, whatever. Obviously, when the Spanish start rattling off things at 100 miles an hour, it's pretty hard to keep up with, you know. But, you know, they kind of sell themselves down a little bit as far as how they can speak the language. But, you know, they're a lot better than they were. They can, you know, they can get around, they can get through life in a mainly Spanish-speaking town. This is their youth centre, 180 degrees, which is obviously how they're trying to turn around the youth's lives in Spain, 180 degrees from where they may be heading back towards God. It's very God-focused. They're really working on building relationships with the local kids and getting them out and just having fun, you know, because they've got to build. It's like anything, you've got to build from scratch, you know. You just got to start from the ground up. You've got to get kids coming, get them having fun. Don't batter them with God, just, you know, get them in a good environment and doing things they enjoy to tell their friends, to slowly build up, you know. And it'll be a process, but it's getting bigger all the time. This is what they've done with it. We showed photos 6 months ago. I think Rod showed a thing of, you know, like, of where it started to where it is now. But it's an amazing place. It's fantastic. That's
where the church is on Sundays as well.
Yeah, that's where they hold their church there. Yeah, on Sundays. It's a really cool joint. They do lots of things. They do, you know, praise and worship. They do lots of things. That's their team. And then on Friday nights, they have the kids there, and they get them in there for all sorts of fun and games, and they try and get them doing things that they wouldn't normally do in their normal Spanish life. Like we took them out. All sorts of different things, and you'll see the result of games like this. That's our
illustrious missionary.
That's what? Yeah, that's our illustrious missionary joining in with the fun and festivities. And of course, after you join in a fun and festivities like that, our other illustrious missionary must help to get the place back to where it was. You know, so they're both into it. You know, it's amazing work, and it's a real constant, you know, battle, but it's it's something that's growing. This is what we did when we were there. We took them out, they did a big slip slide out in the public arena. They've just got those flags made up because, you know, people sort of wonder what they're doing, and that, you know, gets the name and the symbol out, and people come over and say, what are you doing? And while we were there, they had quite a few people come over and you know, just say, oh, what's this? And well, where's it located? And it just generates interest in it, and, you know, they may bring their kids along. There's Julie after someone wet her. Could have been me, maybe not. I don't know. She ran and hid. There's Adam, and actually that's Andrew. It's not me. That's Andrew sliding down. Yeah. Anyway, look, it was a lot of fun. It was out there, and we really enjoyed catching up with them. You know, they've been sort of part of my family for 25 years. You know, so I've known them for a long time. We've got a lot of history, but you know, we really support what they're doing, and it's not easy.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things for any missionary is being away from family, and Julie loves her kids, as any mother does, and being away is really hard for mothers in particular, not just, I mean, the fathers as well, but for Julie it's a bit of a struggle.
I like getting away from mine. It's great.
So just bring up the next slide. Just some ways that you can help and support them is you can pray for them. You can support them.
And areas of prayer too, you know, is like just their acceptance into the community and their language. You know, they need to retain in their minds what they learn, and the language is a massive barrier. You know, when you can really communicate. Although, as I said to Julie, you know, she needs to enjoy where she is, because her pidgin Spanish can be a door opener. You know,
she's still the same.
Bit of humorous
oh my
conversation.
gosh,
Yeah,
she'll say,
like,
if anyone knows Julie, that's, you know, hola chica. She's just so bubbly, and that works in her favour. Another way you can help is financially, if you feel that Lord's telling you to do that, through Pioneers. They've had a couple of people drop out support-wise, so just get in touch with Pioneers or let us know.
The financial thing's always a battle. You know, they live on a faith-based, you know, their journey is faith-based, and it relies on support, and it's a very hard thing to drum up. No one wants to ask their friends to support them and give money and whatnot. But, you know, whether it's Adam and Julie, or whether it's Sue and Tony, or whether it's Tony and Annette, or as Rod would call them, Tony and Annette, Sue, Rod, anyway. But it doesn't matter, no matter who it is, you know, we really should. These guys are out there. You know, they're on the field, and they've left their families. They're not sitting on their bums. They're doing God's work in another country. And the reality is that they have to eat. They have to pay the bills. Be it, like I said, Adam and Julie, or Sue and Tony, or whoever. You know, we should be happy to give our money, if we feel, obviously, for missionary support towards them. Just make sure you're giving it somewhere in God's community. Whether it's the church, you know, whether it's missionary support, whatever it is. You know, God gives us money. It's not ours. He blesses us with the money, and we should not give back because we want more money. We should give back to thank Him for the money He's already given. You know, and if everybody in this church gave $5, which is 1 cup of coffee a week, just $5, you know, it would make a massive difference to Adam and Julie's finances, to Sue and Tony's finances, to Tony and Annette's finances. You know, it doesn't have to be $100 a week. If everyone gave a little, it adds up to a lot.
I think they just miss home. So if you want to receive their email updates, if you're not on their list, you can come and see us. We'll put your name on our list. And also just send them a message. Just keep in touch with them. They love hearing from home. They wanted to hear all the news about the church. Yeah, they just miss us. And the YouTube videos from Paul, they just love. They watch them all the time. So thanks, Paul. They get encouraged by that.
Yeah, and they really appreciate the prayer and support that we give them. And as I said, a lot of you people might know them, but they're quality people, and they're worth our love, they're worth our support, and they really appreciate everything we do.